Welcome to the City University of New York, Queensborough Community College, the Introduction to Sociology. For week 1, we will conduct a biographical statement. We will take a look at the course overview as well as classroom expectations. For weeks 2, 3, and 4, we will look at the study of sociology. Week 2, we'll take a look at Chapter 1, the sociological perspective. Here, we will study the sociological imagination, origins of sociology, and sociology and public life. In week 3, we will look at Chapter 2, methods of social research, where we will examine the research process and doing research in the real world. For week 4, we will look at Chapter 3, culture and social change. This will include us looking at the elements of culture, cultural integration and diversity, the production of culture, types of societies, and theories of social change and development. Week 5, we will have our exam number 1. Please remember that a pencil is required. Best wishes, guys. For week 6, 7, and 8, we will look at the individual and society. Week 6, we'll take a look at Chapter 4, socialization. Here, we will look at socialization and the argument of nature versus nurture. We'll look at socialization and social interaction, social class and the transmission of values, agents of childhood socialization, and socialization in adulthood. For week 7, we'll be looking at Chapter 6, groups and organizations. Here, we will look at the nature of social groups, the rise and fall of formal organizations and bureaucratic innovation, and the nature of bureaucracy. Week 8, we will look at Chapter 7, deviance and crime, studying the nature of deviance, explaining who becomes deviant, and looking at crime and criminal justice. Week 9, we will have exam number 2. Remember, a pencil is also required. Best wishes. Weeks 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, we will take a look at inequality and power. For week 10, we'll look at Chapter 8. In addition to looking at Chapter 8, we'll include 2 other texts, The Politics of the Rich and the Poor by Kevin Phillips, as well as Sar Leviton's Programs in Aid of the Poor. In looking at class and stratification, we will examine wealth, power, and prestige, inequality and social mobility, and poverty in the United States. For week 11, we will look at Chapter 10, Sex and Gender. Here we'll take a look at the social construction of gender, gender socialization, and patterns of inequality. For week 12, we'll look at race and ethnicity. Here, we will take a look at cultural diversity, patterns of intergroup relations, and minority groups in the United States. For week 13, looking at Chapter 15, we'll examine the family, including family functions and structure, marriage and divorce, family types, the dark side of the family, and the future of American families. For week 14, we will look at education taken from Chapter 16, specifically the social function of schools, education and inequality, and public schools in crisis. Week 15, we will conclude this course with our final examination. Thanks guys for taking this class. It was a pleasure having you.